like to remind everyone that this show is brought to you by the Dolphin Wars.
Good afternoon, all. I am King Dolphin, also known as Raymond, the author of the Dolphin Wars series of books. You'll have to excuse me. I have a bit of a fat tongue tonight because I just had some dental work done, but I'll make it through. Tonight we've got a special roundtable. My special guests are Clobberin Times and Lord Thoth. How are you guys doing?
Good. Good, sir. Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you very much. It's great to be here. And shout out to the chat.
The honor is all mine. Tonight we're gonna be talking about one of our favorite comic books, the Legion of Superheroes, the super team of the future. Before we give them our King Dolphin TV, let me welcome the chat. We have our producer Sandra. Still recovering. She should be getting better hopefully soon.
Hope so.
How you doing, hon? And then we've got
Hey, Sandra.
We've got three wrenches here. We got Legatus Legionii, the first in, last out. We got Snornapupus Cuber. And we've got John Rendell. I'd like to welcome you all here. And if we get into the later chatters, we'll shout them out. So before we get started, I'm going to put out Clobberin's site so that if anybody, most everybody knows it here, but doesn't hurt to get it out there yet again.
Thank you.
Like and subscribe. Clobberin Times, his Saturday night Star Treks and all his other stuff is great. So, again, guys, I am very honored to have you here and talking about a subject we all love. We've talked about the Legion when we had the Global Geek game, but I wanted to do more up close and personal, as in what we liked, what we didn't like, and how we got started with the Legion. Chat, we're gonna do it a little differently. If you've got questions, just put them out there and we will, I'll bring them up and we can answer the questions as best we can. So without further ado, let's get started. Guys, I know distinctly my first Legion experience, but what were yours?
LT, go for it, man.
Yeah.
My first Legion of Superheroes experience was way back in 1974 as a young lad going into the comic book shop back when we used to have them on the corner.
Wow.
We used to have the little corner stores. So
Yeah,
they'd be in the supermarkets. They'd be in the corner market stores. And that's where I got my first appearance, my first appearance when I picked up my first issue of Legion of Superheroes. So issue number 204 is my first experience with the greatest comic book super team of all time, of any time. And it was a shock to me because I couldn't believe that you could put like Superboy in an issue with all these other colorful superheroes. And so as a young kid, that really determined what I was going to do for the next, couple years, let's just say, several decades of collecting the Legion of Superheroes. And I mean, what can I say? The cover just sucked me in. It's funny because my dad used to take me to that corner store every week in order to pick up a comic or two, but that had really been the first time I had seen a Legion of Superhero one. And after that, I was hooked. I had to every week I would go in, and I couldn't understand at the time that it wasn't a weekly comic. It wasn't coming out every week, and I was like, and of course I'm a young guy, a young lad, and I am pretty sure that my father had to put up with a couple of my temper tantrums because this had become Superboy is got to be one of my greatest favorite superheroes of all time. I'm talking Silver Age, even into a little bit into Bronze Age Superboy, the classic Superboy, and
of course.
I love that character, and seeing him on the cover, that's what drew me in. But once I started flipping through the issues and on and on into the 270s, 280s, Great Darkness Saga, and on, I was hooked. And so yeah, that's pretty much my experience.
Clobby, yours.
I'm having trouble pinning it down to the exact issue number. So
maybe
kind of
just the storyline. Because I can't remember an issue, but I know exactly the storyline I joined up on.
I'm gonna go with somewhere around like it was right around the time, because I've tried to track this before. It was either right before issue 200 of Superboy, which was at this point has been called Superboy, starring the Legion of Superheroes.
Right.
Around 197, the title became changed from Superboy, even though they were in that title, they weren't on the cover. Legion was not. I mean, the title was not on the cover until issue 190. I want to say 197 was the first one. Excuse me. The first one where it was part of the cover. Excuse me, part of the title. And I do have 197. Of course, that's Timberwolf story.
Okay.
But I think a little bit after that, oh man, it was around 1972 or 73, I think. In fact, you know what? Now that I think about it, it was before it became Legion of Superheroes. But they were in the title. They were always a part of the comic, but it was a Superboy issue. So I'm going to ballpark it around 196. Excuse me, 198. Or 93, which would have been like the third one that has Legion on the title, to 200. Up in there somewhere. It's 1973. It was a Fatal Five story, whom I love. I love the Fatal Five. They're great, a great villain group. And I think that's the first time I ever saw them. I'd seen Superboy in years previous. Of course, I'd seen the Superboy Filmation cartoon. It was as Thoth was talking about, I'm a huge fan of Superboy. He's my favorite. I love him. I love Superboy and Superman equally. They're the same character to me because I love the gold and silver Bronze Age Superman, and that means part and parcel with Superboy. I love Superboy. I love Krypto. I love the fact that I found out that he was flying into the future and having these adventures with these super-powered teens and hanging out with his best buddies in the 30th century. And so it grabbed me right away. And hey, Sherry, the lovely Sherry's here.
Yes, hi, lovely Sherry.
See ya.
Hi, Matt G.
And hello, everyone. Good to see you all out there in the chat. So I'm gonna ballpark it around the 200 mark of the Superboy starting the Legion of Superheroes. That was before it became Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. But just the fact that it was Superboy hanging out with all these superpowered kids, oh my God! It's just, I mean, as a 8-9-year-old kid seeing that, I was just blown away by it. I couldn't believe it. It was just, and you know me, Raymond. Fantastic Four is my heart.
Right.
But I love the Legion almost on an equal level, or very right there.
Yeah.
So
mine. This is dating, man. I was reading during the old Adventure comics.
Nice.
And the first one I remember was the debut of Shadow Lass, where they tried to find out what happened to her home planet and found out it was the Fatal Five involved.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
nice.
That's and then I've just I kept on until
that's like 360 something. I think
Adventure, yeah,
I have that issue. I want to say 365, 366, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good issue.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, you're talking about either the Jim Shooter writing era. That's Kurt Swan probably for sure.
Yeah,
Jim
it was
Shooter
Swan.
writing it, or Edmund Hamilton, somebody like that. So yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and hello, the lovely Sherry, and hi, Matt G. Welcome. But yeah,
I love Shadow Last.
Oh yeah,
Tazmia Malor, she's wonderful.
Yeah, definitely.
She must be a good character if she keeps Monel in line.
Yeah, that's true. So we've gotten. So I've gone personally. I stopped. Really, I stopped consistently reading them at about the the 0 hour, the 0 hours time frame when they started bringing up these.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. That and the 3 boot. Oh, the 3 boot was detestable.
Yeah. Well, for me, the Legion starts and stops from 1958 to 1989.
Yeah.
With the only exceptions being, in 2007, the Lightning Saga was an attempt to bring back the proper Legion, the Levitt's Legion, as I like to call them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty good. I don't know if you remember that in 2007. And then later with Legion of Three Worlds and Superman and the Legion of Superheroes stories, where they brought them back as they were the Levitt's Legion, and there were Levitt's even writing it later, but as an adult version of them, so I accepted it. Because I'm very, very, I'm absolutely totally gatekeeping, judgmental to the extreme when it comes to my Legion. I have, in one form or another, whether it's a reprint or an original issue, every single story, format varying from the very beginning to the end of 1989, the end of the Magic Wars, number 6, Legion of Superheroes, Baxter First Series, 63, number 63, and all the annuals. After that, nothing is legit Legion, other than those anomalies that I just mentioned. For me, I don't speak for anyone else, but for me, none of that stuff counts, and it makes my eyes. Now, by the way, after the Magic Wars, I read it for a while. The Tom and Mary Beerbaum, Keith Giffen, Legion Volume 2, garbage, which in my opinion was garbage. I read it for about a year or two, and I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, I could not. I read maybe about 10 issues of the 5 years later saga, and I'm like,
I hate it.
Yeah, that 5-year gap was pretty awful. And actually, I'm sorry I'm interrupting, but the DC Heroes role-playing game actually put out a supplement to that. I don't know if you gentlemen have those. Yeah, I have all of them. The original, the 2 books where you had the planets and you had the actual team.
Yeah,
I own those. They're actually really nice books. And then the 5-year gap one where they have all the updated stats and stuff. Those are pretty good. But go on, Ray. I'm sorry.
No. You're fine. You're fine. This is for you guys. This is you guys here. Yeah, that was. The most recent one I read and liked is the Final Crisis Legion of Three. That's the one you're talking about, right?
Well, that was one where after Lightning Saga, a few years later, they did actually, Jeff Johns and Gary Frank did a Superman in the Legion of Superheroes thing that had that adult version of it. But later, Final Crisis, when that was going on, they had Legion of Three Worlds. Hey, Jill. Look at Jill there.
Yeah, hi, Jill. How you doing?
Good to see you, Jill. They had Legion of Three Worlds. Yeah, Perez did the art on that one. And it was all these different. Thing is, the fact, even them entertaining the other Legions pissed me off, but I did like that comic. I was just like, I just want my Legion back. And, that's why after that, when Levitt started, and they brought back Adventure Comics, used the same numbering, which was interesting. And they made that and they even had Superboy in there sometimes with the flashbacks. They made that a Legion that was older, looked a little different, but they were based on like an adult version of his Legion. I did read that, and I used to correspond with Paul Levitz all the time. It was okay. It was just kind of good to see. I knew that it was him. I trusted him, and it was still it was an interpretation of my future Legion at that point. And I was kind of, I don't know if you were reading it, Thoth you probably were. I was liking it okay, and I used to write back and forth with Levitz, and he was very nice to talk about it. And then when the Screw 52 came along, I asked him, I said, is this going to continue, and it's going to be my Legion? He said, well, I can't really say that much. I said, well, just tell me this, and this in this Screw 52 thing coming up, will there, just as with your Legion that you're writing now, was there a Superboy? He said, well, not really. He couldn't say much. I said, well, thanks. Tell me everything I need to know. I thank you so much. I was not mean to him, but I was like, I wasn't impolite because he's Paul Levitt. I was just like,
I did read.
Not my Legion.
I did read Legion Lost for a little bit, and it's just like, again, it's like, what are they trying to do here?
Yeah, I couldn't, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
it was an interesting premise for a story, but in the 30th/31st century, whichever generation that you like, I prefer saying 30th century.
I'm a 30th guy.
They would have a technological capacity to be able to fix their warp drive or whatever they want to call it in the future. But it was an interesting premise where they go to this other part of the universe and they can't get back. And there was some. It was not a bad storyline. It wasn't great. It's kind of. It's not a memorable storyline like a lot of the adventure comics or Superboy and the Legion comics that we've had over the years, right? Yeah. It was like, well, I remember the basic premise and I remember one or two of the characters, I think, and they met one or two new characters, and was Gates part of that? I can't remember. But yeah, it's not very memorable, and that's the problem, right? It's all the modern stuff. It's a flash in the pan. It's the same kind of dreck that they're writing in DC and Marvel comics today, whether it's X-Men or whether it's Justice League or whatever team books I'm talking about, right? It's really hard to go back to the golden age of 60s, 70s, 80s. Oh, that some of that Levitz Giffen era is just and I read the books over and over and over again, so much so that 30 years later, I can still remember the stories. And that's really what tells you what's a memorable storyline. But the most modern stuff that is not very good. The one you mentioned, the Final Crisis one, that was okay. Legion of Three Worlds or whatever. That was actually pretty good. Yeah, that was actually pretty good. I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just seeing the real Legion mingling with fake Legion, so it annoyed me about it. But yeah, it was Think about the Legion. Go ahead, Raven. I'm sorry.
The one that I was talking about was when like Dawnstar, Wildfire, they ended up in the 20th or the 21st century. They somehow got transposed in the Screw 52. I like that term. Universe.
Yes. Oh, I know what you're talking about. The other thing about the Legion, Raymond, and LT is one of the things that I love about it the most, I think, is it is the most, because we all love Star Trek here. It is the most Star Trek of all superhero comics.
Absolutely.
Although Fantastic Four, you can make a claim is similar to that as well, because it's about exploration, it's about science. But this is in the future. It feels the Legion, the Earth, or the United Planets and the Federation are very much like the United Federation. I mean, in the Legion comic, it's very much like the Federation. It's very Trek. It's just like it, except with superheroes, and that's one of the fun things about it. But another thing about it to me is, of course, we all love the standard superhero characters, Justice League and the Avengers, and FF. What this is, though, is this is 1,000 years in the future. Superpowers are great and all, but they're no guarantee that you're going to be safe, because technology is such that superpowers don't mean a whole lot if you're not smart and tough, and you can die a lot easier. You can't just go all over the place. And I love the fact that some people get superpowers organically. Some Legionnaires are born with their power because of the planet they're on. There are a couple that got their powers like accidents, as we almost all the ones, outside of Superman, most superheroes that are set in the modern times got their power some special way, whether it's an accident or whatever, given a Green Lantern ring or what have you. In the League, I love the fact that most of the ones in the Legion of superheroes got them almost in a science fiction type way, in the sense that they're from a planet that gives them these inherent powers for whatever reason. Even the silly ones. Almost most of your Legionnaires were born with their powers, though not all.
Yeah, which is great. That was the great premise at the very beginning when R.J. Brandy was when he was recruiting the Legion, was going to all these planets and finding the best out of that, or the most talented or the most skilled. And well, for a triplicate girl, I mean, everybody has the power to triplicate, or
Right.
phantom girl, or where she could
was in a
move
different
through
dimension.
objects. Right, she could phase through objects from from Bzitzel.
I always called it Bigital. Bigital.
Yeah.
Bigital, I think is how you say it.
Bzitzel is what I used to grow up saying.
Bigital, yes. It's not easy to say.
What attracted me to this too, and Club, you brought this to my mind when you were talking about how this is the most Star Trek of the comic books that we have, period, bar none. Even the Fantastic Four, I would argue, is in modern times, right? So you're looking at a future world. Yeah. What really attracted to me was the adventure that every issue you had was a new story, that was a new planet or a new bad guy, or and even though you had Superboy or Mon-El or Ultra Boy or the big guns, you also had Triplicate Girl and Bouncing Boy and all those characters but they were like supporting cast, like Matter Eater Lad. Like, how do you fit Matter Eater Lad into a mission, right? And another thing was they were teenagers, and growing up at that time as a kid. Right. I could see and I hate to say this because I know what everybody in the media is going to say about seeing yourself in the characters, right?
Yeah.
I could kind of see myself as being one of the team, like having some special ability that was unique and being one of the team. And so, it's growing up with these characters and seeing them have relationships, and some of them dying, and some of them going off to, well, what happens if Lightning Lad and Saturn Girl get married? Well, I'm sorry, the Legion Constitution says you have to leave.
They got to leave, yeah.
And so they had this whole constitution. They had Legion elections where you could write in and vote. Back in the days,
I used to write in and vote. Did you?
Yep. When Ultra Boy was a Legion leader, I voted for him. And so,
me too.
Me too. Hey, that's good.
Wow.
And so that way, it was such and those are the days of letters, people. When you had to write it on paper.
You had to write them
in an
I
envelope.
didn't vote for Dream Girl though, dude. I thought that was really ridiculous, and I love Dream Girl. But I know I was a sexist kid at the time, but.
That was the social interaction that we got from the comic, because we were growing up with these kids, and the letters page was something I read every single letters page. I had to. Right as soon as I finished the issue, it was an opportunity to hear what everybody else is saying about the comic as well. And it was kind of a shared experience, even though it wasn't in the same room. So that was something that I loved about the comic. It was more like, well,
it was interactive.
Yeah, it was.
With fans.
It was fun. It was unique.
There was no fan base like the Legion fan base back then, dude. There were fans of all comics, don't get me wrong. But the Legion fan base, starting around the late 60s into the early 70s, with had a fanzine, Legion Outpost. Yeah. And they were the most vocal of all comic fan bases as far as like one specific comic character or group. Sure, there are many Avengers fans. I'm an Avengers fan. I'm a fan of the Fantastic Four, as you well know. But as far as an organized fan group that is rabid Legion, I know it's not that much today, but back then,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was no comic book fans that were as, like you said, rabid and loyal. It didn't matter even into the SW6 Legion, on into all of these more recent storylines. It's funny because I go to my comic shop and I say, so am I the only one getting the Legion book? He said, no, it's the same three guys that have been doing it for 20 years. They all get books. And it doesn't matter. Even if there's like a Man of Tomorrow issue, or a Batman issue where one member of the Legion shows up, we had to have that issue. I've got a long box full of guest appearances by the Legion in other people's titles. So it was just you had to have it because you had to be a completionist. But you were so fanatically loyal to this group, this team, that when they started changing it, I think a lot of the old school fans started dropping off because it wasn't the Legion we grew up with.
Right, and they really for a long time did not do crossovers.
True, except Superboy. But I mean, well, you had
Superman.
You had Lana Long, You had you had a
Jimmy
couple
Olsen.
Jimmy Olsen, yeah, that's who I was trying to think of. You have some characters from the Superman side of things, and they
Mhm.
had their own titles, which went for hundreds of issues. I mean,
Yeah.
Lois Lane, like but some of those characters would kind of come over, and vice versa. And I mean, the first issue that Ultra Boy appears in is a Superboy issue, 98, I think, if I remember correctly. And
You forgot. No, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I was making sure. I was checking fandom, make sure you got it all right.
Let's see.
Both
Bouncing
both
Boy.
Invisible Kids, right? Yeah. So
Yeah, both Invisible
Kids,
Kids. Bouncing
Yeah.
Boy, Lightning Lad, Sun Boy, Ultra Boy, Colossal Boy, Invisible Kid, Karate Kid. Well, you could say Karate Kid. Yeah, you're
Well,
right.
Super Karate, he had to
he
learn
had to learn it. So yeah,
You had to learn.
yeah, fair enough.
Wildfire.
10 out of the
Wildfire.
25. Yeah.
of the
It's a big
original
one.
groups. Phantom Outsider, you said 25. That's the original, right? That's not all the post 1989 editions, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Well done.
nice Phantom. So
Yeah, Starboy too, but except
Yeah.
he did have his natural gravity control powers. But yeah, he got like
he
Superboy
joined because
level powers
he
for a while.
joined for super strength, if I remember right.
Pete Ross, that's a good one.
Starboy and Projectra kind of faked their membership.
Don't forget Lana Lang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lana Lang.
I love Lana Lang as the
Yep.
queen, not Queen Bee,
Bee,
Insect
uh,
Queen.
Insect
Queen, yeah.
Yeah.
So so obviously you've got to go with the Swan era, because that's really what started it in the Adventure comics. Al
Plastino, Kurt Swan.
Yeah. And then you went to
George
Cochran was, if you were a toxic teenager, you had to go with Cochran.
Bob Brown, then
Jim Shooter.
Dave Cockrum.
Yeah, Cochran.
We were just talking artists now.
Yeah, artists.
The Grell run, of course. Even though he had
Grell run.
not always the greatest inkers, it was still great.
Mm-hmm.
You know who was great?
Binder.
Oh, yep, he was a writer.
Binder.
But yeah, I loved him.
Yeah.
You know who was on? I wish it stayed longer, even though he had some bad inkers sometimes. Starlin did a couple of issues here and there for different names, but James Sherman was fantastic, except when Jack Gable was running with his inks. But James Sherman was incredible. I just went back about a year or two ago and reread the Earth War. That's outside of the Great Darkness saga. One of the most famous of the sagas is the Earth War saga. I don't know if you read that recently.
That's where the Dominion. That's where the Dominators invade Earth, right?
And Mordru, and that's the early 240s.
Mordru, yeah.
The early 240s of Superboy and the Legion. That is a great story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, James Sherman. Some of the art he did that was unencumbered by Jack Abel was brilliant. And the guy did not stay in comics for very long at all. He went to do other types of art. But his Legion stuff, oh my goodness, man. I love Sherman. For what little time he's there. Beautiful stuff. So, which begs the question, I guess, I would ask everyone, do you have a favorite saga? And if you weren't allowed to pick the Great Darkness saga, which one would you pick? I mean,
if we weren't allowed to pick the Great Darkness saga,
because everyone picks that. I know I would. Maybe you wouldn't, but I'm saying it's so obvious because it really is the great one. But
I would, and it's not. I would go with the Shadow Lass Fatal 5.
Nice.
Where they took over Taylok and then decide they're gonna wipe out the Legion, so they invade Earth, destroy their headquarters. That would be my favorite.
Good one. Well, I need to go back and read that one. It's been a while.
Yeah.
The Caputo story where he kills one of Triplicate Girls.
One of Triplicate Girl, yeah. The Sun Eater.
The Sun Eater, Pharaoh Lad's Sacrifice.
Yep.
That was great. Jim Shooter.
Yeah.
You
He was
know,
just at a con down here, and a buddy of mine, I didn't get to go, but a buddy of mine got a picture. He held up. He had a couple of pictures of Dave Cockrum pieces of all the women that were really great art. I mean, he took pictures and showed them to me. They were really nice.
I love An
Go ahead.
Eye for an Eye. So it's the original 7 or 8 issues of the Baxter run, where the Legion of Supervillains goes after the Legion of Superheroes.
That was great.
Yes.
Death of Karate Kid.
The Death of Karate Kid. I was just going to mention
Lightning-
that.
The Return of Lightning Lass.
Yep.
It was just, they were outgunned. They had was it Olver was the Daxamite?
Yep. There, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just, and it was, they had planned and they were ready for them, and they really tore the Legion a new one for the first few issues until the Legion came back. And of course, that's Levinson Giffen, right? I mean,
yes,
that's a more modern version. I like a lot of the original stuff. There's one I'm trying to think. There was the Adult Legion run.
Oh yeah,
where we got to see. Remember, we got to see the Legionnaires who had died in the little. That's the first time we got to see them, like Ferrolad and Chemical King, Reflecto. And so that was. I remember that being memorable because I can still remember it today, even though I read it probably 30 or maybe 30 plus years ago. So I like that one.
I agree with Phantom Outsider big time. There's no way Nemesis Kid should have been able to kill Karate Kid, but the reason he could, look, I love a lot of what Giffen did when his art was good till he ruined it, but he was a total douchey because he hated Karate Kid. He killed him like 2 or 3 times. He hated him and he always bitched about him, and that pissed me off because I'm like, wait, I love Karate Kid. If you don't like him, don't put him in your damn stories, jerk off. I hated. And Levitz and those guys let him kill Karate Kid, which really aggravated me. I love the story's good, but the sacrifice. But I'm like, because Legionnaires do die. But man, I love Val Armour.
I was very pissed. I was pissed off when Val got killed.
Yeah, he's in my top 10 favorite.
Yeah.
I love him.
Although Projectra killing Nemesis Kid was good. Yeah. Okay. Hello, Andy Masterson. How you doing?
Hey,
welcome,
Andy. What's up, man?
Okay.
And that's kind of why they hand waved Sensor Girl, right? For those of you spoilers, Sensor Girl was Projectra, right? And in order to bring her back, they had to kind of hand wave that she had killed someone. So she, because in the Legion Constitution it says, "Thou shalt not kill."
Thou shalt not kill.
And if you do kill, you're instantly expelled. So she was expelled from Legion. Not at the time, she was a reservist anyway, right? Because she was a queen on her planet. And that was a way to kind of bring her back again. And after that, everybody kind of went, and just kind of let it, because she was such a cool character.
Yeah, definitely.
Raymond, I sent you a picture of that a couple weeks ago from a Jim Shooter at a con with a really nice original art piece of Dave Cockrum drawing all the lovely Legion ladies in his age.
Oh, yeah, let me take a
beautiful.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at that, and I'll share it. Whoa!
I love that classic Supergirl outfit too. If you look at the Legion ladies, one of them actually makes my top 5. A Legion lady makes my top 5. Legionnaires of all time. Dawnstar is one of my absolute favorites.
Gosh, yes.
And she's a more recent addition. When I say more recent, she wasn't in the original, era of Adventure Comics. But just as she, I love her idea of her character, that she's got these wings. She's beautiful. She's Amaran. She comes from another planet. But
there you go.
By the way, I misspoke. It's George Perez. It's not Dave Cockrum. I got Cockrum on the brain because I was looking at a Cockrum picture. It's George Perez, but still, it's beautiful.
That Saturn Girl's outfit for a toxic 13-year-old was
the bikini, the pink bikini.
The pink bikini for a toxic 16-year-old was probably the best.
Right. I was thinking Cockrum because he showed me a picture earlier with Cockrum. But yes, Perez, but still, it's beautiful, and they're in those 70s costumes.
Yeah, that Dream Girl one. I can't wait to see.
Oh my!
Yes.
The RXO is going to be demonstrating that outfit sooner or later, I think.
Yeah, eventually.
But yeah, the that's the funny thing too, because we had the guys having a lot of the big powers, right? Even Colossal Boy was pretty tough, right? Timberwolf, Monel, Ultra Boy,
Yeah.
Right.
Superboy. But I'm glad when they brought Supergirl to the team, because it really added a lot of strength and power with those old cool costumes. But
Right.
they were really in a supporting role, even though we could argue that Saturn Girl is probably the most powerful Legionnaire.
Yeah.
I mean, if she allowed her telepathy to just run free, I think of Jean Grey from the X-Men perspective.
Oh yeah.
She just could be unstoppable, and so that
Love
in
her.
my opinion, anyway.
Okay.
No, I hear you. No, absolutely.
That actually brings up the next question. We could go all over the place with members, but let's just go top 3, not called Lightning Lad, Cosmic Boy, or Saturn Girl.
So no founders except for
No founders. Because
Cause is in my top 5, but yeah.
But outside of the founders, and Superboy, let's yeah, I got it.
Superboy is always in my top 3. But
he's my favorite, but if you want to exclude him, gotcha.
Yeah, let's take out those 4. Who are your top 3?
Go ahead, Clobby.
I would have to say Monel is, of course, always my all-time favorite Legionnaire, not named Superboy, so he's there. After him, we're doing 3?
3.
I know it's a weird one, but Wildfire, I just love him, and I guess because I'm such a fan of the Thing, that when I think of Wildfire, they're similar type of a tragic character. After him, it's tough, but I will probably go with there's so many. I'd probably go with Ultra Boy.
Okay.
I know I'm going with the big guns there. I love Ultra Boy, even if he
Chat
does have
also,
a ridiculous name and all that stuff.
Chat, put yours out there so we can after we do ours, we'll show you guys. We'll show what you think. Lord Thoth, you.
Ultra Boy is my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't called Superboy. I love Monel because I love his story, even though you'd think that in 10 centuries they would have come up with a cure for lead poisoning.
It took a while.
So you're eliminating
3 characters.
I do love Drake's story. I love Drake Burroughs because he's kind of connected with Dawnstar for me, and I love that that tragic Shakespearean love story they have. It is so tragic. Sad. It is heartbreaking. And as a kid growing up reading that story, it's always brought me back to those characters. So yeah, I like Donnie. Donnie's probably my third favorite, but she is entwined with Wildfire. I usually always mention them both.
Okay.
And if you're talking top 3, I just think that she should be utilized a lot better than they do on the screen. I actually could say that for Shadow Lass, for Lightning Lass, for all of the girls, because I think that they're really underutilized in a lot of storylines. I know people are going to be disappointed. I mean, Brainiac 5 always makes my top 10, but I can't get over the fact that for a lot of the times that I was reading him, he was kind of almost a bad guy with Computo and with.
That's true.
And you never could trust him.
Crazy.
So it's hard to fit him in the top 5, even though he's a great character. But I always wondered when I bought the next issue, if he was going to be the bad guy in that issue or not. Yeah. Look what happened because of what happened to Matter Eater Lad too with his manipulations. And so
my top 3, Element Lad. I've always liked this character. In fact, I've done some comic characters when I was dabbling based on Element Lad. I just love his power. Mon-El, it's got to be Mon-El. My third, I would say would be Projector. She really came out to be a.
Really?
She really.
Interesting choice.
Yeah.
Is that
She came
because
out-
of Censor Girl or because of
No,
I
Pre-Censor?
love the Censor Girl thing. Yeah.
It was pre-Censor Girl.
Oh,
The fact that she's royalty, and she could be a pretty manipulative person. In fact, if I remember right, I'm not sure if it was Dream Girl or Projectra that when they were coming into the Legion helped manipulate their joining the Legion.
I'm trying to remember Projectra's issue where she joined.
She joined with Starboy.
Yeah.
When he was using his faux powers.
It was right after Karate Kid, right?
Yeah.
Because I love that issue with Nemesis Kid,
Mm-hmm.
where Karate Kid joined with Nemesis Kid, and that's where the enmity came in, and why Nemesis Kid wanted to beat him in '84, right?
Yeah.
In 1984, issue 4 or 5 of the run, the Baxter run.
Let's see. Phantom Outsiders, Ultra Boy, Monel, Timberwolf, Wildfire.
He picked 5. He cheated.
He cheated, yeah. Yeah.
Timberwolf does have a soft spot. I
love
soft spot for
Timberwolf and
Timberwolf.
Brainiac 5.
I like.
I love him.
Timberwolf.
Of course, I almost love all of them. I can't name. I mean, if you
Yeah,
have
it's
to
hard.
Make a list of any of them I don't like, and the big group. There's not one I dislike.
Shadowlass would definitely be one of the top 3 women.
I like the Block White Witch relationship too. That kind of developed.
That was very interesting. Yeah,
that was a lot of fun. And then after that, you've got the Baxter Legionnaires, right? Magnetic Kid, Polar Boy, Quizlet, Hellas.
Oh, Quizlet's Quizlet's the bomb.
Quizlet's literally the bomb, yeah.
Yeah, that's
literally. Yes, he is. And he's. I love the Quizlet Wildfire relationship. Actually, even though it made them change Wildfire's look, I didn't like the way they. I wanted the old Erg costume, but still, that was some fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the two of them when he gave Wildfire physical form.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
remember that?
Brainy was basic mad scientist, yeah. And I'm sorry, his crush on Supergirl was cringe. I'm sorry, it was cringe.
Yeah, and a lot of Phantom Outsider mentions Pharaoh Lad and or Pharaoh in the more recent version.
Mm-hmm.
The original Pharaoh Lad was a good character. It was a really interesting character, and it's too bad what they did to him. But Clobby is really good at telling the story. If you want to tell it, Clobby.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's that?
About Pharaoh Lad and why he was killed off.
Well, for those who don't know, we're talking in the mid to late '60s, and the character of Pharaoh Lad was, of course, was wearing a mask, and because he was believed to be a mutant, of course, Andrew Nolan, and Jim Shooter, who was writing the book, wanted to, again, he was a very, very young. I mean, the legends say he was like 13 or 14 writing Legion of Superheroes, ridiculously young to be writing it, professionally for anything, let alone comics. I mean, comics or anything. He asked the DC editors, he wanted to make, again, remember everyone, this is the 60s. He wanted to make the character, he wanted to have a reveal where they take the mask off of Pharaoh Lad, and we find out that he's a black kid, because all Legionnaires are kids, they're teenagers. And the DC editorial staff didn't have the stones to do that, and he was pretty upset about it. And I forget which editor, whether it was Schwartz or who was editing at the time, kind of agreed with him. So he agreed to say, "Look, we're just going to kill him. Then we'll just kill him." So basically, he dies, sacrificing himself against the Sun Eater, because he was pretty angry that they didn't have the guts to make him really what would have boiled down to him being the first, black DC superhero.
Mm-hmm.
Predating Black Lightning and Tharok, not Tyrock and people like that. Yeah, so that's basically what happened. That's according to Shooter. he said, "Well, to hell with it, let's kill him." And how they let him get away with killing the character since he's a kid and he was an editor, he was a writer, not an editor. I don't know, but they did.
Yeah, it was another 10 years before they brought a Black Legionary into the fold.
Tyrock,
and
Tyrock.
and what did they do? Is he was there only a short time because the place where he came from went into this dimensional aperture and didn't appear for every 10 years or something. It was a stupid storyline. He was a really cool character because he had the sonic screens and kind of like Black Canary had, right? And it was and with it he could fly and stuff. It was a cool character, but it's too bad what they did to him
a better
too.
Costume.
Hello, Tiger Stripes. How you doing? And we were just talking about Pharaoh Lad. Lone Wolf was the first iteration, the first name of Timberwolf.
Yes.
Yes,
sir.
He was called Lone Wolf prior to Timberwolf.
Correct. And what a great character! And that Timberwolf is another one that I've loved. I remember right before the Great Darkness Saga, one of the things that aggravated me there was that phony stuff between him and Saturn Girl.
Oh God, yes.
I love Levitch, love you, man. You're a hero to me. But one of the things about the Legion you have to understand if you never read it, it is a soap opera, just like Peter Parker's life and Spider-Man was always a soap opera. The Legion's a soap opera because it was in the house. It's not going to be with a bunch of kids, teenagers in their mid-teens or whatever, interacting with each other, being superheroes, having life and death experiences together. There are couples in the Legions, so. I'm not a big shipper, as you know, but back then, before there was anything like shipping, like you hear about all that stuff that kids do now, I guess in their own way, Legion fans did the shipping thing. Like everyone was interested in who was with whom. It was all a big.
True.
You had your romances going, and that was one where they got stuck on that asteroid or that planet or whatever that thing, and as you know, she was a married woman, and she was married to Garth. And Timberwolf was seeing his sister, Ayla, but he and Saturn Girl got sent on a mission, the Legion Espionage Squad, the Legion Espionage Squad, and started kind of, that I kind of didn't like too much.
I guess she must like the scruff.
Yeah, that was when he just switched back.
Yeah, he had
when he just switched to the normal face.
Yes, he had. He just had his normal face.
So maybe
before they went out. Before they went out on the that mission to the Coons.
I think it got a lot more soap opera-y as the '80s kind of rolled around. There, from my memory, going back in my memory, I don't really think that they did it too much. Now, of course, there was some romances and some, pecks on the cheek here and there, but
it was part of the characters.
Yeah, it's like Cause and Night Girl, right? And it kind of like, and it's a lot off screen. So I prefer Isla and T-Wolf being together because I kind of like that interesting personality conflict that they have because. She can be a firebrand sometimes, but most of the time in her early portrayal, she was just kind of the steady, reliable Legionnaire. And he was the hothead, right? And the only one who could control him, in air quotes, was Isla because he had obviously they had this romance going. So it's, and Brainiac 5 and Supergirl, I mean, realistically, would that ever be a thing?
No,
I didn't like that. Huh? I didn't mind it. I thought that great of a real weight to that issue when Brainiac finds out about it.
Oh yeah, about Crisis.
No, right after Crisis in the Legion title, the Baxter title, I kind of thought that was, he's in love with her and the way it goes. But
I must say there was a little dust in my eye when I was reading that.
Yeah.
For true Legion fans, it's those emotional powder kegs too. That is another reason why we're drawn to it, and stuff like that. Where that Crisis issue, that issue number 7, where Superman is holding her, right, and she's dead, right? That cover, and I saying, oh no, I couldn't believe it. Follow that up with issue number 8, where the Flash dies. Like, I couldn't believe it at the time, but then I'm like, well, wait a minute, what impact is this going to have on Brainy And I thought about that, and sure enough, because obviously they're in the future, and they knew when the characters will pass on, and it was kind of symbolic of their relationship, and it's too bad that he never really got to fully appreciate that kind of a full relationship with her, because she's from another time.
Mhm. Of course,
Smart guy,
it
yeah.
was, of
The
course,
nerd got the jock.
well, of course, the thing is they wouldn't be able to remember anyway because Saturn Girl always manipulated them, Superboy and Supergirl, when they went back to their present times. Or was it Dream Girl? One of the two always set up like a super hypnosis.
Saturn Girl.
Okay, Saturn Girl, yeah. So that they always forgot what happened in the future.
Right. Yep. Not convenient.
Yes. Reasons, plot armor.
I tell you, did you guys were you reading the series, the Baxter series at the time? Because this was that whole year or so where who is Censor Girl, the whole who is Censor Girl mystery. I really enjoyed
Absolutely.
That was
good
good
too.
Yeah,
and I got it wrong. I got it wrong, by the way.
Brady thought it was Supergirl. I thought it was Supergirl.
I did too. Everyone did.
Yeah.
And that was a nice little head fake. It was a nice little, deception.
Well, because her powers weren't the same. She had these. She had these where she could see far distances. So they're thinking, oh, Supergirl's telescopic vision, or she seemed to be strong, and it was just a great storyline. I never ever guessed when she took the mask off that's who it was. It was a shock. It's kind of like Reflecto too. I think who mentioned Reflecto? Was that Phantom Outsider?
Ultra Boy, Phantom Outsider.
Yeah.
He says when
that
Ultra
was
Boy died and
Reflecto
shows up, and we think it's Ultra Boy, but it kind of isn't. That was
I
like those. That
was a good story.
Yeah, that was.
It needed better art, but it was a good story.
Especially if you do a callback to that issue I was talking about earlier with the Adult Legion, where we see this red-headed character in the Reflecto costume is actually in that case, right? So you're thinking, oh, well, who could it be? Well, it can't be Superboy then, can it? Or can it? Or, well, if it was Ultra Boy, well, shouldn't it have been Ultra Boy in that case? And then, so it kept you guessing. And I love those. I love when it's over a couple of issues too, where it's not just next issue it's a reveal, or last page it's a reveal.
Yeah, that was about a year almost.
Yeah,
it was a long time.
Yeah,
I loved it. A lot of fun times to be a Legion fan.
Yep, I loved it. And we were talking about Star Trek, and we were talking about Star Trek. I always loved the cruiser that looked like the Enterprise.
Oh yeah, and that looked that way on purpose too.
Yep. But you were talking about long reveals. Well, it was only 4 issues, but we got the Great Darkness Saga.
Oh yeah.
And even though they were kind of hinting at it leading up to the big reveal of Darkseid being the bad guy in the end, it was a dun 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 kind of moment in my head, because especially when he had those corrupted bodies of previous heroes, like he had an Owen, he had Superman supposedly, like what was it? Not Tasmia Malor, was it Lydia Malor or
Lyda or whatever?
Yeah, and so it was one of those things, and of course Orion, and it was one of those things where
the Guardian, the
Guardian, yeah, and it was just wow, how could someone be that massively powerful? And we knew it wasn't Mordru, because they take that off the board pretty early. And
because he was taken out by the mysterious darkness person.
I recommend that trade paperback to everyone who says, I want to get into comics. What would be a good way to join? I say, well, now there's 50 years, 60 years of comic books here that you have to understand. However, the story, read it, and it'll suck you into learning more about the Legion of Superheroes, and just read it for the story and the characters, and then start to pick up other things. And I've got a perfect success rate when I've recommended that trade paper. Is probably one of the, because you can always talk about Watchmen, and you can always, there's some graphic novels / stories that are just so amazing that you have to read them. I always say you have to read the Great Darkness Saga.
Definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
there's no doubt.
And, you know, that page, I have to take it up to find it. That one splash page, where I guess it's the last issue of it or whatever, where it's Brainiac 5, and you can see all the silhouettes of the Legion on the top. It says, "My friends, the conclusion is inescapable. We face." It's got the words Dark Side.
Dark Side.
Wow, oh, God, I love
Right
that.
on the
One of the
bottom.
greatest
I love
splash pages of all time.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. And the cover itself, where the Legion is worshiping him.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I sent you some silly pictures, Raymond.
So, okay, let's see.
But yes, it's I just my God, there's so many. Well, I guess one question would be, what's your favorite villain or group of villains? I mean, the groups are easy if you have favorite villains. You know,
Individual villains that aren't in a group.
well, it could be either. I mean, who doesn't? Of course, it's easy to go with the Fatal Five, but you can go. I mean, let's talk about the Fatal Five for a minute. They're the greatest group.
Oh,
I mean,
Emerald Empress.
At least the
is
super
one of my
villains are
favorites.
fine,
Yep.
but
the Emerald
yeah.
Empress is one of my favorite villains of all time.
The Rock's pretty great.
The Rock's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Mano, except he was kind of a punk early, but
Mm-hmm.
Validus, of course.
Him later.
I'm not a big fan of his character arc from where he ends up, but
the Dark Side thing.
Yeah, Dark Side. Yeah, I wasn't overly thrilled about that too.
Yeah, and of course,
Persuader.
Yeah, the Persuader.
Persuader's cool.
Yeah,
the Legion of Supervillains we've talked about already.
Yeah.
There's some pretty cool villains in there. Yeah, Lightning Lord.
Gotta love Mordrew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mordrew.
The Legion Honored Dead. Yeah.
I wasn't even. One of my least favorite was Tyr. I did not like Tyr. He was the one that put that
of him for some reason.
Huh?
Ron Carr was the greatest supervillain of all time. The guy who could flatten himself.
No, Tyr was the one. Was it Tyr? Tyr wasn't the one who put the chain around the earth.
The red.
That's
dude,
Grimbor.
That was Grimbor, wasn't it? Yeah,
Grimbor the Chainsman.
Red guy.
Yeah,
Grimbor.
Yeah, Tyr had the arm, the arm that.
Yeah, the mechanical arm thing there. Yeah, that was the cannon, and
they did it. They did an action figure of him for some reason. I have it.
Yeah, which is weird, eh? I have that downstairs.
Did they do like a? Did they do like a superpowers of him? And then they did this one. And like I don't of all of they did a great Mordrew. I got that, but they didn't do any other Legion villains other than Validus, which is a build, which I got that, which is great. But
the actual the Mordrew Hero Clicks is a giant one. It's a tall one. It's actually pretty good. I have it right here beside me. Yeah.
Oh, that I have a pretty good Mordrew, but I might have to try to get that one.
Yeah, it's about I don't know. It's got to be like maybe 1.5 or 2 inches tall. It's bigger than the regular Hero Clicks, but I have every single Legion character that was ever published in the Hero Clicks. WizKids Hero Clicks. I have them all. I have actually Donnie right here beside me. There's like three different Wildfires. The Monel one is actually pretty cool. Yeah.
I like that one.
Block. I love Block. He's out front.
Yeah.
I have all the other figures.
I like that. Legion versus Galactus.
Yeah, who'd win? They'd find a way to beat Galactus.
They would. Matter Eater Lad would beat him. He'd just eat him to death.
Try to eat him, yeah. Eat his foot.
Just like the Miracle Machine.
Yeah, he said, I'm not coming to this dimension in the 30th century anymore.
I would get my butt kicked. Mordrew, of course, you have to mention Mordrew because he's Clobby. He's one of your favorite stories of all time. He was in that. He was the bad guy at the war.
In the Earth War.
Yep.
I think that was great. Yeah.
Wow.
He was great. Mordrew, the Infinite Man.
Yeah.
Or what's his name? What was that guy's name? Was it Infinite Man? I'm forgetting the name of the guy now. Ron Vidar's father.
Universal.
Infinite Man's a different hero altogether. Different villain for hero altogether. Universo, thank you. My memory sucks.
And you can't forget the Time Trapper.
The
Time Trapper. Boy, I hated what they did with him later.
Me too.
Oh, turn him into
It's not-
Superboy.
It was Rock Kren.
It's not Rock Kren. He's not Rock Kren. That
No,
was
it's not
yeah,
Rock Kren. That was
I
horse
refuse.
hockey.
Oh, and then they made him into Superboy Prime.
Oh, did they? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you had Cosmic King, Lightning Lord, and Saturn Queen was in a lot of the Adventure Comic stuff.
Right.
And in a lot of cases too, it was just fighting against Superboy and not, Superboy
True.
/ Superman. And then of course, because you had them as adults,
Mhm.
that was kind of, and Cosmic King too he didn't have magnetic powers.
No, he transmuted.
Yeah.
He had transmutation.
It's kind of like Element Lad in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I got them mixed up, fandom. Sue me. I often do that. I know it was different. Thank you. I needed that pointed out. I needed him to point that out for me, even though I said it immediately. Thank you.
Gosh, I just had a supervillain on my mind, and the train got derailed.
Oh, I'm sorry, I derailed it for you. Listen.
Oh no, they just had so.
Pulsar Stargrave.
Oh, I didn't like him.
Nah, he was too green.
You're trying to. We mentioned Dr. Regulus already, right?
Oh yeah, Dr.
Dr. Regulus. There you go.
Yeah, he was a good one. He was a badass. Just if he got over his obsession with Sunboy, he would have been a really good character.
And Glorith was kind of a stand-in for Mordru later on.
Right.
I hated that character. I didn't really
She
like
was
her.
in the
Magic Wars crap, right?
Yeah, Magic Wars crap.
And the 5 year and the 5 years after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're a slow typer, Phantom. You'll live.
Oh, what about the League of Super Assassins where Block came from?
That's true.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I forgot about that one because that's Lazon, I think. I can't remember all the characters, which is bad actually. Let me think. Lazon.
Pulsar Stargrave was Android Brainiac Evolved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Starfinger. We know who he was. True. It turned out to be Garth, right?
Yeah.
Titania.
Garth died and lost an arm and came back and all that stuff.
Yeah, you talk about in Deep Space Nine, O'Brien must suffer. In the Legion, it's Lightning
Lad
must suffer.
Yes.
Although he
was
always
leader for a while. But all right, who were the best leaders? Who did you think? I mean,
best leaders.
Oh,
okay, that's a good one.
I mean, obviously, I don't know. I'm trying to remember. Did Superboy ever do his thin as leader?
No, I don't think he was ever leader.
No, because he couldn't be. It wasn't considered like a full time.
Yeah,
because he wasn't there all the time.
I used to vote for Mon-El all the time, but I can't remember. Again, I'm just drawing a blank. He may have been made member. I remember when Lightning Lad was a member. I remember Wildfire was even a member. I mean, a leader.
Yeah, Wildfire
for a while, and actually was a hothead though. It was pretty good.
Yeah. Strangely enough, I think if not a top leader, she should get honorable mention because she's the one who took out or helped defeat Darkseid, Dream Girl. She was leader during the Darkness Saga.
I remember as a kid I couldn't stand that they made her leader. To be honest, I was really puzzled by that. I know I was being a sexist, but
yeah, because after that, and then Polar Boy was a Legion for a while.
I really like Polar Boy.
Polar Boy was good.
Element Lad was a terrible one. That was a terrible reign. Poor kid, eh? He finally becomes Legion leader, and then he has to. He resigned. He ended up resigning. I'm a sucker for Cosmic Boy, because I think
I love Cosmic Boy. Yeah,
the early years. I mean,
Lightning Lad was leader when he had his breakdown.
Yes,
right after the mission to the espionage mission.
That's right. Yeah. I think he's one of the longest running ones too, because I think it was like 3 or 4 years that he was a Legion leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think early in the early years, Invisible Kid was, I think, before he got killed off.
Mm-hmm.
Manel was
Saturn
Girl. Yeah. Cause, like you said.
Cause.
Yeah, I remember. It didn't go too well for Element Lad, and I like Element Lad.
When was he leader? I don't remember.
it was bronze, sometime in the Bronze Age, sometime before. Oh crap! Wasn't it before? Was it during the Grell run? Maybe I can't remember. But
Yeah, I don't.
Phantom, I'm sure Phantom will tell us.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna put Kaz you're gonna have to put him in the top 3.
Yeah, Cosmo was. I mean, I thought he was always my favorite leader.
Yeah,
it just seemed like a founder, and he was.
Kaz was my favorite. Yeah,
he was.
But that was the early years.
I liked what he said in Final Crisis. In the Final Crisis, he says, "I got to do this so you guys can have lives. I sacrificed everything so you guys can have lives."
Phantom Outsider, that's Lyle Norg, by the way, buddy.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yeah.
You bad typist.
Mm-hmm.
Lyle Borg.
Yeah.
But I'm not giving you any crap over it like you do me. Yeah, poor old Lyle Norg, and there's the thing, Legion deaths other than Garth Rands, they usually stuck. They didn't come back.
Yeah.
Poor Prody.
Unlike other superheroes.
Yeah, poor Prody.
Prody. Of course, Pharaoh Lad and Invisible Kid.
Yep.
Chemical King.
Yeah.
You spell checker, you. I can understand that. It would not know what the word Norg is. It would know Borg before Norg.
Yeah. Okay, now I remember. Back to villains, the Khund.
Khunds, yes.
Copies on the Klingons.
Well, that's the Earth War. They were
much.
involved in that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
But yeah, I'd say the number 1 leader would be Kaz. Because he's been
I
agile.
agree with that. That's always been my pick.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's see here.
Actually, I don't know. Was Cham ever the leader? I don't think so.
No, I don't know.
No. He was the leader of the elite. He was the leader of the Legion espionage squad,
which he was pretty good at.
Yeah.
Yes. Even though he got in trouble for he got put in on Takron Galtos for a while.
Yeah, for that mission.
Great Darkness Saga for that mission.
Yeah. Yeah, for that mission there. Let's see.
Encyclopedia Galactica.
Yeah. Pharaoh, Invisible Kid, Chemical King, Karate Kid, all from Earth. Yeah.
You sure?
The only pretty wasn't from Earth. Garth didn't stay dead. Yeah. That's true.
And of course, there was one version. One of the triplicate girl died.
Yeah, that's true.
But she was from what? Oh God.
Karg.
Is it Karg or Karg? Korg or Karg?
Carggg. I think it's
Cargg.
Yeah.
Right.
Can't forget Prody. We just mentioned Prody.
Yeah, we mentioned Prody. That's better than being from the planet Bismol.
Oh, yeah.
That's dismal.
Hey, Basil.
That's Abysmal.
Oh, it's a pumping seagull.
Hey, Basil.
I can't do it as good as Doomcock.
Yeah.
No, he's special at that. Karg.
I always thought there should have been 3 G's.
Yeah. These planets too, like Talak and Karg and Brawl and Wynneth and Vigital. I still try to get a message. I just say Vigital.
Well, there was Flan and Zune and Talak. Yeah. I think it's 7 or 8. No, 8. Talak 8, right? Orindu.
Talak 8. That's right.
Wynneth, Trom.
That's Element Land. Yeah.
Imisk.
Yeah, Imsk.
That's right.
Kolu,
of course. Daxam.
Starboy was Xanthu. Xanthu?
That's right. I think so.
Durla, of course.
Durla. There you go. They got some planets there. The United Federation of Superpowered Planets.
Yes, definitely.
Block was from Dryad.
There you go. Where was Tellus from them? I can't remember Tellus.
Caraxus or something.
Yeah. I'm bad with remembering these damn planet names.
And Quizlet was from another dimension.
Yes. I love. Can we talk about Quizlet? Let me tell you something. That shows the extreme creativity of Paul Levitz to create a character like Quizlet. It was just batshit.
Yeah.
In the best possible way.
That was crazy.
I
Yes.
love Quizlet.
Oh, I
It
love
was
Quizlet.
fun. What a great idea. Oh, man.
A unique character in a unique superhero group. That's
Yeah.
that's exactly right.
Exactly.
I agree.
Yeah, Orlando. We forgot Orlando. Yeah.
Orlando,
But
yes.
yeah, you're right. Yeah. I loved him. I loved old Quizlet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep,
did
we
I mention
mentioned
Starhaven? Did I say
Oh,
Starhaven?
No, you did not.
Starhaven. There you go.
Dawnstar.
Dawnstar, yes.
Dawnstar indeed. I love Donnie.
Yes, Donnie is. Oh, yes. I'll tell you, I liked Giffen's work until he turned them all into Nanooks of the North. Their stupid costumes. Oh my God.
His style changed. He changed his style on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when Giffen first started drawing comics at Marvel in the early 70s, he was ripping Kirby on Defenders, and before that, he was doing a couple things like on Moon Knight. He was ripping Kirby big time. What you're gonna rip the best. Then when he went to draw Legion, I remember I was liking really. They had some real bad artists on Legion for a while there, and even when Levitz got a hold of it, and some bad inkers, and then all of a sudden we got a couple of really nice issues by Pat Broderick. I'm like, oh, this is good. They need it. This is more like it. This art's really getting good on here. Remember the great cover on Medicus 1, and of course the one with Dr. Regulus,
Yeah,
and stuff. Well, then you get we get Giffen, and he. Oh, you got to run, LT. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You got to take off, LT.
Yeah, sorry guys, I gotta go and
that's
take
okay.
care of some real life stuff here. But
All right.
this was an absolute blast. We need to do it again.
Oh, we will.
When I can
We
stay
will.
longer. And
I'm glad you were here, buddy.
Clobby, it's always a pleasure doing a stream with you and talking about our one of our true loves in our lives.
Yeah,
Mhm.
back at you, man.
And Ray, thank you very much for the invite, and everybody in the
you're
chat.
The honor's mine.
Thanks for joining us on this journey, and long live the Legion.
Long live the
Long
Legion.
live the Legion, brother. Thanks.
You take care, Lord Thoth.
Bye.
Yep, good hanging with you, buddy. Yeah,
All
Giffen
right.
changed his style. When he
Yeah.
went to when he first started drawing Legion for years, it looked so good. It had a nice, clean style. It looked
Mhm.
very reminiscent of like a George Perez or something like that.
Yeah.
With Larry Malchit doing the inking, it was beautiful stuff.
Mhm.
And then he started branching out. He started changing. He went to some con. I forgot what country it was in, but he picked up this what was called a Venezuelan graphic novel called El Center by an artist by the name of Jose Munoz. And he started liking that guy's style. Well, he started drawing that guy's style. And I mean, I'm talking panel for panel in some cases.
Mhm.
In his in Legion and in a book he did called Ambush Bug.
Oh,
And
yeah.
other stuff. He started swiping the hell. I loved Ambush Bug.
Yeah.
He started swiping the hell out of this guy, and people didn't understand. They thought it was changing his style. No one knew for the longest time. No one knew he was ripping it off from a guy. They just thought it was him doing it. And it went from looking like one of the slickest, best looking comics around to everybody looked weird, and it was just like it was totally just this ugly style. Why are you doing this?
It was like
Eventually, he got replaced.
Yeah, it was like every one of their costumes looked like I mean, it was just
Absolute, total style change that was unnecessary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see. Okay, here's one. It took obviously superhero comic books taking forever to get onto either the big screen or the small screen. And the Legion seemed to be the longest one to get put on to live action. I think the first time we saw him was in Smallville.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a Smallville fan, and seeing a couple of people wearing jackets.
Yeah, I didn't like.
Not costumes. Yeah, but I was not a big fan of Smallville like a lot of people.
My
superheroes wear costumes. Sorry.
Mm-hmm, I liked the animated version. I think that was it went 2 seasons, and it probably should have gone longer, in my opinion.
I tried. I've tried
Right.
multiple occasions. I can't get past the look, the way they. I can understand that they had, because of legal concerns, they couldn't call him Superboy.
Yeah.
They're calling him Superman. And I hated the way they made them look. I hated the art, and they even I could have got used to the animation style and art, but the way they made Timberwolf look, the way they made Brainiac 5 like a little transformer or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So many things. I wanted to like, and I have so many friends that say, no, if you just get past this stuff, it's really good. I believe you, but it's tough. Visual, I can't get past it. Sometimes
Phantom Girl.
Can't get past.
Phantom Girl, they really screwed the pooch on her. I mean, they made her look like a little China doll.
Oh, it's horrible. It made me so sad because I understand the stories were probably pretty good.
The stories were good, but the art was like, and it looked like they took a mishmash of the second stringers and made them first stringers. I mean, I'm sorry, I like Bouncing Boy, but he's not a first stringer.
Exactly. You know what what I would have loved was, you remember that episode of the Justice League cartoon? Which dealt with the end of Supergirl leaving and staying in the future, with the Legion in that, done in the Bruce Timm style, but they look just like the real Legion, almost exactly like the Legion should look. Brainy looked a little weird, but everybody looked pretty much like they're supposed to. It was just done in that Bruce Timm style. Oh my God, I would love to have a cartoon that looked like that, a series that looked like that. Please, 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 but no.
Yeah, stop with the kitty type art. Make them
just like they did the same thing to Teen Titans.
Yeah, exactly.
And people love that show. Like, I hear you, and people recommend it. So God bless you if you love it, but I can't.
Yeah,
can't get into that. That they look like monkeys to me. The Teen Titans and the Legion, they look like monkeys. I can't do it.
Yeah,
can't do it.
Now there was, what was it? Justice League versus the Fatal Five. Now that one. I wish that Legion. I wish it would have been more than just Starboy. I wish they would have had more of the Legion throughout the thing instead at the very end.
Right. I was very disappointed in that one for a few reasons. The Justice League, for one, only consisted of a few of them. It looked just like the old cartoon, sort of, which was great. But why do we have to have Jessica Cruz as Green Lantern? Why did it have to be Wonder Woman with the sword? Why did the Fatal Five, their Legion villains, why are they coming back in time to fight the Justice League? I don't understand. I have no idea why you would even. The idea is loopy.
Yeah,
I understand Starboy in Screw 52, and even before that, there were times when he was stuck back in the past. I understand.
Yeah,
but really, it's just like the whole idea and concept was a waste.
Yeah,
for me, I was very disappointed in that one.
Yeah. They just. It seems like the Legion is one that they can't really. It's like the Fantastic Four. They can't figure out how to put them into TV.
Except for that Justice League episode where they figured it out and then just ignored it after that. Didn't do it, but yeah. Even when you come to the Fantastic Four, but I love the Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. The FF on that were backbenchers. And I love that show.
Yeah.
But the FF ain't no backbencher to nobody.
Nope.
And this one, they had the Avengers and Tony Stark beating Galactus with the FF helping a little bit. No, sir.
Nope.
But they're still great cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I would just love a Legion cartoon based on something like that looks like what we're seeing here, these pictures,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, these pictures here are just priceless.
Adapt the Great Darkness Saga in an animated
man,
2-part animated movie and make it look exactly like the comic book.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, that would be epic. Have the or even if they go CGI a la Green Lantern, but do it well.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Let's see. Phantom Outsider says, for some reason, they have no grasp of Legion, mainly because they can't conceive of an optimistic future.
That is a very salient point.
That is a very good point.
because they just don't believe in optimism that much and a positive future and stuff, and they would just make it dystopian garbage.
Exactly.
Too true, Phantom. Too true, Fanty.
Yep. And they even tried that in the Final Crisis one. Started to really break apart the United Planets. They killed off. An assassin killed Brand. It's just.
I hear you, man. They always got to go for the negative and for the nihilistic crap.
Exactly.
It's sad, buddy. It's sad.
Yes, it is. Yeah, Phantom. That's what we're talking about. The GL show. The GL show, not the live action movie.
Love the GL show.
Yes.
It takes a little. I mean, I would have preferred that be like a standard 2D animation, like Green Lantern Emerald Knights, which we reviewed the other night. Looking at. However, I'll take what I can get. So if they did, I'd take I got used to the 3D on there. I would, if they did a Legion one like that, but no, they won't. And again, things are so Raymond now. They're so pretty much ruined that anything they ever announce is going to be tainted by modern DC and modern Hollywood. So there's no chance of them getting it right now ever. It used to be like maybe 10 years ago, if you said, "Hey, they're doing," like when I heard they were doing that League Justice League Fatal 5 thing. This has not been 10 years. That's been a few years. Even though at that point I'm going, oh, that's pretty cool. Kind of a weird idea, but hey, it looks like it's by the same guys that did the old Justice League cartoon. Fatal 5, I'll take a look at it. Now, anything they announce, you go, throw it up.
Yep. Exactly. Let's see. I'm gonna ask out of these two. Well, I'll ask out of all the artists, what were your favorite?
There's some great Legion artists.
Oh yeah,
it's so tough to pick a favorite. But I'll just name the it's a pretty nice gang of greats. For example, I would have to say that obviously Kurt Swan.
Yeah.
Dave Cockrum.
Yes.
Mike Grell.
Mm-hmm.
James Sherman.
I don't remember any of his stuff. When was he?
It wasn't for long, but he did the Earth War.
Okay.
And then, of course, Pat Broderick.
Yeah.
Which was very short, so it doesn't almost count really.
Yeah, because he did. Yeah, just before the the Conda mission, the Chameleon Boy.
Right before the Great Darkness.
Yes, right before the Great Darkness.
In fact, I'm sending you a picture of all my favorite artists right now.
Okay.
Favorite Legion artists. But then I would go with, after Giffen, of course, Steve Lytle.
Okay.
Who did this cover here. And I sent you a picture of an example of all my favorite, because I got a bunch of picks that I made of my favorite artists for different characters and teams and whatnot. So those are to me, these are easily the definitive Legion artists. Swan, Cochran, Grell, Sherman, Giffen, Lytle.
Yeah. I'd say that's about the order that I'd go.
Well, and I don't have them in any particular order. I got them in chronological order on this picture. It's because it's so tough to pick a favorite. Because Giffen was so great, and then he ruined his style. Lytle was really great, and he did a nice run on it. Sherman, not a short run, but enough to be called a run. Grell, a nice run on it. Sometimes some of his inkers weren't the best.
Yeah.
Swan, of course, was fantastic. A long, long run. And Cockrum, not a long as run as we would like, but still pretty good.
Yeah.
So I have trouble putting them in any kind of order, so I just did this in chronological order. These are my 6 definitive Legion of Superheroes artists.
Well, now that I see the Sherman, I definitely remember that art.
A couple of times he had some bad anchors, but when he didn't, oh my God, in some of his covers, he was an outstanding artist and really almost did, as far as I know, almost did no other comic book work. Or almost very little. He left and went into doing commercial art or something.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I like Phantom Outsiders thing. The easy fix for DC Universe: just get Superboy Prime to punch the universe back to pre-crisis. Yeah, that would be.
I'm for that.
Yeah. Except now he has no powers because of Final Crisis. Superboy, current DC has no heroes. Oh, I agree.
That's for sure.
Yep. Infinite Frontiers, aka 5G, is killing DC Comics, replacing legacy superheroes with characters no one cares for.
As sales plummet. You know, something like 70 or so percent of DC's titles are Batman titles now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got like 11 books or whatever.
Yeah.
Crazy like that, and they don't sell either, comparatively speaking.
Yeah. They're trying. These are advertisements for the movies or whatever things that are out there. He says 1-issue reboot. Superboy Prime punches DC right back to pre-crisis and destroys Anti-Monitor. No crisis.
Got my vote.
Got my vote too. Yeah. Okay. Last question, and I'm going to have to start wrapping it up because things work for me. Which headquarters did you like? I know that's kind of off the wall. Did you like the Rocket or did you like the facility, the fortress?
My heart loves the Fortress Lad clubhouse. You know, the original Rocket clubhouse.
The original,
Fortress Lad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know about Fortress Lad.
No, I don't.
Well, it's in fairness, it's very obscure. What happened was in the late 80s, they had a comic called DC had a series. I don't know if you ever used to see it. It was an anthology series called Secret Origins.
Yes, I do.
And they had one where they told the story of Fortress Lad. And he was a being who could turn himself into, it was kind of silly, but he could turn himself into like a
transformer, like a transformer,
right? Into walls and things.
Okay.
And they were fighting. There was this villain, and he was trying to try out for the group, but they really didn't know what to do with him or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were fighting this villain. It was that I forgot again. And Phantom could probably remind me because I'm spotty on the story. It's been long since I read it. That basically this woman can blast you and make you forget things or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they were under assault, and the Legion had lost their memories. This whatever happened, and Fortress Lad, in order to protect them from this assault with a bunch of weapons, formed that clubhouse around them, that rocket ship, to protect them, and was killed absorbing the energy. And the Legion had memories were wiped, so they don't know that Fortress Lad died saving them.
Huh. Wow.
But he became the Rocket Clubhouse, yet they have no memory of it, so they don't know that was the heroic person, heroic lad who, called himself Fortress Lad that they were going to reject later, because he's wiped from their memory. They don't realize that the clubhouse is the kid who formed that to save the life of the Legion.
Wow, I remember. Okay, I never saw this one. I remember the origin of the Legion, where they were actually constructing the rocket. Okay, so
yeah, but this was sort of like
a reboot. It was a retcon,
in a sense, a retcon. But that's what they think happened. Now, that's right. That's true. He didn't die. He just became. He remembers he's a person. He's only thought he was a perfect. Yeah, he can't remember. Okay. He's a person. His only thought was protect the Legion. Thank you.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll find that. I'll find out what issue that comic is again and see if I can find it online if you want to read it or something.
Okay, sounds good. That's
sure it's online somewhere.
Yeah.
It's been like 30 years since I've read it, but I love it. I love that one, but I actually do love the one later. The one in that picture I sent you there with Glex. That one one that was that they had in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Cool
I remember
stuff.
that one. All right. Clobby, this has been amazing.
So much fun, man. I enjoyed it.
Yes. I always enjoy talking comics with you. Our Fantastic Four was great.
Yes, sir.
And I missed out the last time with Geek Gang, the last discussion of the Legion. This was
Really?
yeah. I
It's
think
been
it
over
was,
a year. I thought you were there, buddy. I can't remember now, to be honest.
yeah.
Huh?
But
All right.
I figured we needed to do it again. We
Always.
needed to talk about the Legion.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll do it again one day too.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, although it's not the Fantastic Four, which is both of our first loves. This is still,
We'll do that too one day, man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Again, we've done it before, but I mean, we'll do it again.
Oh yeah, definitely. Clobby, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor.
I'm honored to be here, man.
And let me get the link out there. And so, guys, we will. I'm going to put some show notes out there, and then we'll say adios to the chat. Need to discuss why Duplicate Boy was never allowed in. Okay.
They don't like duplicate. They don't allow people with duplicate powers.
Yes. I mean, Monel was a special case. And
because he was a full timer for one thing.
Yeah, he was the full timer. And Ultra Boy, yeah, he had the same powers, but only once.
One at a time.
One at a time.
Again, they could bend their own rules a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why Erg 1 didn't get in there until he revealed his real powers.
Yep.
So,
yes, sir.
All right, so next week we're going to have Point Curation show us some more of his artwork. On the 27th, we're going to have, it's going to be the week of the 27th. It's going to be a double your pleasure. On Wednesday the 27th, we're going to have Orville Nation. PJ's going to come on. We'll talk some Orville. On the 28th, we will have Fat Steven Seagal talk about his channel. And on August 3rd, we're going to get an update of from Pudgy and Cobalt. So we got a lot of stuff coming up in July, first week of August. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually quite busy till end of September. That's how far I've got with interviews.
Oh,
and of
nice.
course the Just Cousins, which you know what happens there. So the Wrencher, Sandra, our producer, get better, honey, and I love you. And we all hope that you'll get fully better.
Yes,
better. Yep. Our wrenches, we got Legatus Legion I. We got. Okay, hold on. You've not seen this before yet, or you have not seen this. Clop.
What we got?
Hold on. For Snortopupus.
Snorty. Oh.
Snortopupus!
Cooper.
Goobar.com.
I don't see Snorty much these days. They snort it.
Yeah. He says, we got John Rendell was here as a wrench. Thanks for coming. And then we've got our chatters, the ones that came and visited and listened to us pontificate. We had the lovely Sherry.
Sherry.
We had Matt G. We had Phantom Outsider with his Legion information. We had Anti-Derivative Jill. Thank you for coming. I'm glad you could make it. We had Maddie's Daily, Steve Mitchum.
Steve.
And we had Andy Masterson come.
Andy.
We had Tiger Stripes visit us.
Steve.
Thank you.
Hey.
And we had the Pudgy Hedgehog with his catapults. And we had Basil, the pumping seagull. Yes, I can't do it with my mouth recovering. So thank you all for being here. And Legata says, see everyone on Just Cause Saturday once everyone recovers from Friday Night Frolics. And on Saturday, don't forget Saturday Night Treks. What else do you want to plug on your channel?
Well, I'll be going on tonight at I guess 10 p.m. your time, 9 p.m. Central. I'll be doing my wild card Wednesday night. The lovely Purple Valkyrie should be joining me, I'm hoping, for just a kind of open talk, hanging out, seeing how she, talking to her a little bit. And tomorrow night, Clobby's Clubhouse on the same time, same Clobby time, same Clobby channel, 9 p.m. Central, 10 Eastern, and that is, of course, with the wonderful Raquel and our good buddy Mark D. And, of course, Saturday Night Star Trek. We'll be back as we are finishing up the TNG crew with the last 2 movies.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Best thing about next week or this coming Saturday is the week after is DS9.
Yes, sir. We're all looking forward to that.
Yeah. All right. So, everybody, thank you again, Clobby. It was amazing.
Thank you for having me.
It's always great when you come on to join the pod.
I really enjoyed it, and thank you so much, buddy. Honored to be here, and great to see you all. You have a wonderful rest of the night.
Yep. And also, if you're new to the channel, if you like and if you've watched and like what we do here, and please like and subscribe. I'd like to get to 200 and beyond. So, on that note, let's everybody have a good night and be safe, be healthy, and see you Saturday. Take care.
This segment is brought to you by TheDolphinBoys.com.